a side to me you don't know. Different to the child with the smiling photos. Made some decisions, some wrong, some right. Now strangers call my number when I'm sleeping at night. One day, sinners too. And when I'm you was. Don't let me go and roll away like a penny down the hole. Down a hole in the road.
Stand the fuck up.
Searching for lost souls, picking them up in bulk like Costco's. And whoever's written my life movie, I'm giving some plot holes. My name is sharply off, so I clocked those. It's much too late, and then it just drops slow. When people are scared when they shoot the sheriff, but not when they shot holes. And that's how far you go to cop those. Designer jeans, and it's a no-brainer.
There's a side to me you don't know. Different to the child with the smiling photos. Made some decisions, some wrong, some right. Now strangers call my number when I'm sleeping at night. But then, sinners too. And they'll only make me worse. Don't let me go. I roll away like a penny down a hole in the road. in my mind. I've become so cold, a phantom running blind. So hopeless, I know this could be the end. I'll fight till you break down and let me in. I'll fight till you break down and let me in. Break down and let me in. Break down and let me in. Swear I felt relief, a shred of pure catharsis. Behind the gates you keep, a shelter from the darkness. So hopeless, I know this could be the end. I'll fight till you break down and let me in. I'll fight till you break down and let me in. 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 Break down and let me in.
Hello, hello, and welcome to Amethyst Racing Tier 2 in Austria. Coming into this race weekend, Bean is currently now your points leader, with Ule reigniting his title charge in P2. Jerling is third, with Khan in fourth. Kiziel fifth. It's very close between second and fifth, well, second and sixth. Only 9 points separates that. It's going to be sunny by the looks of it for the time being, as we're about to get ready to start qualifying here in Austria. Eighteen drivers take on the Austrian GP today. Will Bean continue his dominance? And someone has the wrong number on. It would be Marco Mangano with the wrong number on. So, not Marco. Nick Mangano has the incorrect number on. There is only one Mangano. So this is Mangano, this is not Dijkstra. It's Nick Mangano, Nick Mangano, Nick Mangano. No way, no way, no way. Jehovah's always binned it in the pits. Jehovah's always binned it in the pits. So Jehovah's will not be setting a lap time. As he's lost it on the exit of the pit lane and ripped his front right wheel off. So it's a good start for Andre. But meanwhile, Mangano now coming through sector 1. That is 1 million for Nilsson to pay. Nick will be looking to set a blinding lap here, as there appears to be Mercedes going slow on the stretch. But we're going to carry on here with Nick as he rounds through turn 8 onto the final 2 corners. Only 10 corners here in the Austrian GP. Expect lap times to be mightily close. As Nick comes through to set a 105.2 as a benchmark. Next up is going to be Swan on a lap? No, Swan is on a lap. He's green through 1 and 2. Meanwhile, Silva and Puffran very much off the pace, but Silva goes only a 10th and a half off. Swan rounds the final corner now, driving towards the line. And Swan sets the fastest lap. It's a 1:15.0. But only for Hardizers to beat it by 3/10. Much not able to improve, not able to set a competitive lap there. Only P6 for him. As we look for a Ferrari coming around the final corner. It is... Oh, who's that? That's Hugendorn, who's had a moment. And Jerling only managing P5. Not good for his title chances. Bean, though. Eyes on Bean right now with Monk behind him. 2/10 down through the first 2 sectors. Can Bean cook something up and find some time in that final sector? Meanwhile, Puffran goes P3, setting a second lap. Bean rounding the final corner. Monk right behind him. Bean goes P2. Monk starting his lap. Might be about to get a big tow from his teammate here. Much improves to P4. Going faster than Puffran, knocking Puffran onto the 3rd row currently. Monk less than a 10th down on the leader. Meanwhile, Biden puts it P5. And Dykstra puts it P9 in the Aston Martin. But Monk is going to be doing whatever he can to score points tonight. He's got 2 attempts to get rid of that 0 next to his name. I hope he's been practicing. As he's 4 attempts down, come through the second sector. Meanwhile, Khan goes P3 in the Aston Martin with Vandenberg going P10. Right now, the front 2 separated by less than a tenth. Then Khan is a 10.5 back. Monk goes very, very wide for that final corner. Monk goes P9. Monk was indeed not practicing. As we now look to see, so we've got, so far, the guys who haven't set a lap time, we've got Talbot and the Ferraris. And of course, Jehovah's who's met the wall. As we see that there is a McLaren, I believe, on an in-lap here. Hugendorn, the only Red Bull racing today with no Rosu racing. And it looks like Hugendorn is in fact coming into the pits. So it's going to be the Alpine of Mangano. He'll be first on a lap once again. Let's ride on board with Marco. Not Mark, fuck's sake. With Nick. And let's see what Nick can cook. As he crosses the start-finish line now, and into the right-hander, swing it in. Eating a lot of curb there was Nick, as he now gets onto the DRS for the first DRS straight. All the way climbing up this hill into this late braking point. Short shifts it to 4th to try and get a better drive out as he enters the second DRS straight. Has improved on his time through Sector 1. But he loses it in Sector 2. Nick throwing away the lap there. As we now switch to the Alpine of the Silver. The only Alpine left on track. And he's 4 attempts down through the first 2 sectors. No wonder why Monk's so washed. He's not practicing at all. But De Silva invalidates on the exit of the penultimate corner. So we now look for someone who might be on the lap. Talbon possibly on lap. I believe Talbon's still within the title race just about. Gonna need some big performances though, and to outperform Bean. That is going to be the person that everyone's gunning for. Is outperforming Soybean. As the weather right now looks very nice, as Talbot only manages P11. With Kiziel on his outlap. So he's just starting his lap now. Possibly Swan not on lap. Byland is almost certainly on a lap, right? Byland currently P7. As it looks like there's an Alpha Romeo. It looks like My Much has had a moment there. On the exit of turn 1. Doesn't appear to have damage though. Byland though runs incredibly deep. Ay yo. No. That lap can't count. I'm sorry, what? My man missed the whole final corner. Hello? Yes, please. What was that? Kiziel, meanwhile, puts it P5. Which should be P4. How did you not invalidate? That is disgusting. Meanwhile, Fantenberg manages to go P11. Ule beating his teammate, going P5. As we look to see who could be on a lap, Hugendorn might not be a bad shout. Hugendorn currently P10. If only that was how setting a lap worked. Hugendorn now dry. He's got purple sector wonders, Hugendorn. Hugendorn could be on an absolute flyer. Hugendorn puts it. Provisional P1 with that lap. Where has he summoned that from? His inner demon. As Hardizers goes P2. Hardizers not able to beat Hugendorn there. Hugendorn's actually put a monster lap in. Next up, I believe, is going to be Swan into the pits. So it's going to be the Williams pairing. Maybe it's Bean on a lap. Bean now is about to start his lap. Monk puts it P3. Monk on the second row of the grid currently. Will he finish there is another question. But it's going to be Bean that we have our eyes on here. Currently P6. Getting a tow from his teammate down this long first DRS straight. And we'll whip it in to turn 3. As he's now onto the second DRS straight. And then it's turn 4 for Soybean. Currently P6. We wanting to improve. Wanting to get that champion. Oh, and Bean bins it. Bean has binned it on the exit there. So he will not be improving. Bean throwing away that toe he got from Monk. And it looks like that is going to be Dijkstra on a lap, maybe? On an out lap, possibly? Hard to tell. In lap? Either way, the whole grid is separated by less than 9/10. So 9/10 separates 1st to 17th. As there's a very, very slow moving Talbot. Probably out of fuel, but I think Bean might be going on another lap here. Bean looking to right his wrongs. Bean and Ule with identical times. Bean setting it first. I wonder how much life Bean's incident though has taken out of them tyres. Will he be able to set a competitive lap here? Currently would be P3. The front three all within a tenth of one another. We've only got 4 minutes left in this session. Bean just about has enough time to do this lap. Get back around into the pits. Track evolution will come into play. That is very true. But worn tyres will also have an effect here. Bean, though, with the fastest second sector, is still slightly down there on Hugendorn. It's going to be hundredths, if not thousandths. Can Bean summon something deep from within? Right on the limit there. Bean drives towards the line. And Bean goes provisional pole. Absolutely finds an absolute massive amount of time for that final sector. And next up it is going to be Talbon. Talbon currently in P15. He's going to be rounding this final corner now. And Talbon goes P5. Right behind Alfred Monk. So Bean with almost 2 tenths to the next car of Hugendorn, with Hardeyes as P3. Bean put a stellar lap in. Whew. We don't know what the weather is currently looking like for the sprint race and the main race. It will be very interesting as we're going to see a gaggle of cars coming out. I think the first car is going to be the Alpine of the Silver. No, it's not the Silver. It's Zhao Silver. So Zhao Silver will be looking to set a big lap here. Ooh. So it's going to be spicy. Let's ride on board with Silver. Can Silver produce some magic? Will he be able to avoid the traffic coming out of the pits? As he now comes up to the left-handed kink of 2. And then it's going to be the late uphill braking of turn 3. Just missing that inside curb. Might try and greed a little bit of toe here from the Haas ahead. Not much, but might be enough just to find an extra hundredth here or there. Drops it down to 3rd gear for this corner. Short shifts back up to 4th. Round to turn 5 he comes. The long right-hand kick into the double left-hander of 6 and 7. Rides that curb dangerously. Turn 7 can be a make or break point. Easy to invalidate on the exit as you hit turn 8. And then it's on to the final 2 corners of 9 and 10. Zhao Silver looking to see if he can improve his green in 1, green in 2. Where can this Alpine driver put it? On the exit of the corner, doesn't it invalidate? Will drive towards the line. Zhao Silver improves from P16 to P13. I don't know if he's going to have another lap in him. As we see other people starting their laps. There's a McLaren in the pits. Is that Zherling into the pits? So Zherling will not be setting another lap time. Bean out, not setting another lap. Feels like he may be safe. Hugendorn may be the one to watch here. But we're going to switch to Ule. Ule, well within this Drivers' Championship. Currently P2. Will be looking to outperform Bean. Bean, currently your pole position sitter. Will be thinking that 104.4 is good enough. Turn 2 isn't even a turn. No, but it is technically a turn for some reason. But anyway, Ule now rounding turn 6 and turn 7. Did miss the apex on turn 4. May have lost a bit of time, but he's green through 1 and green through 2. Puffran meanwhile goes P5. So goes ahead. Oh, Kizel's gone P2. Didn't realise he was on a lap already. Ule though is going to come towards the line now. What can Ule set? Ule goes P4. Next, I think it might be Swan round in the final corner. What can Will Swan do? Currently P12. And Swan improves to P9. Next up is going to be the Aston Martin, I believe, of Khan. Khan's rear light already flashing. He's been pushing hard this lap. And Khan definitely doesn't improve. It's going to be an AlphaTauri though. Is that Hardeyes? Hardeyes doesn't improve either. Hugendorn next has invalidated. Vandenberg may be able to Vandenberg doesn't improve his invalidated. Monk, though, on the other hand, is into the pits. Puffran is not on a lap. Has invalidated his lap. Everyone pushing hard, unable to keep it between the white lines, though. So that will, from what I'm aware, be the end of the qualifying. Bean puts it P1. Will be starting alongside Kizil, Ule's teammate. Will Kizil try and get the jump on Bean in this sprint race? Hugendorn splits the Ferrari pairing. And then it's Hardizer's Puffran, Monk, Taubon, Swan and Byland round out the top 10. But Alex Day, we all know that you're a crash merchant. So just because you can set one big lap doesn't mean you can do it for 40 something laps. You gotta be consistent, my dude. Consistency is the most important. But it will be Soybean, the current title leader, starting from pole for this sprint race. And there is your bottom half of the qualifying standings. As we're going to get ready for the sprint race. As it looks like it's lovely and sunny for the sprint race today. Will this weather stay or will it go? That is one thing I don't know. Oh. So Monk's not finishing in the points in the main race then. Here we go, we're going to get underway. Bean leads them off. Kizil on his inside. I'm expecting everyone to be on medium tyres here. And they're away. It seems like it's Hardizers and Ule who get the big starts. They're 4 wide going into turn 1 behind Bean. Oh my days. How did no one die? But Bean gets a clean getaway. Monk is up into 6th place. He's racing side by side with a Ferrari. Maybe thinking about a move on Hugendorn here. Oh my. Who was that? That was Taubon with an absolute send. As they're squabbling back there, it's going to be Bean leading Hardizer's Puffran up into P3. Ule P4. Hugendorn as they're side by side with Monk and Byland are wheel to wheel. Swan may look to have a move at this as well. Oh my god. What is going on? So the front 4 are clear of the rest of the field, but there is a lot of squabbling going on as much. Khan and Jehovah's will make up the rear. Dropped off the back. Monk currently in P6. But Monk leads this gaggle of cars that will be thirsty to get past him. As Bean sets the first slap on the first lap. And there's a lot of squabbling. Swan looking like he's having to defend off Kizil and Taubon right now. As there's a yellow flag. Monk has survived multiple attempts on his life. Right now, Bean is under pressure though from Hardizers. Has Puffran right behind him. And Ule right behind that. Hugendorn P5 has dropped off Monk. Monk who has Byland on his rear. And Swan close to that. And then it will be Kizil who has got past Vandenberg. with Jerling in P11. Something's happened to Taubon. Taubon's dropped all the way back. Bean, though, leads this 4-car train around the Austrian track. Monk currently P6. But he's outside the DRS of Hugendorn. He might come under attack on this lap. The DRS will be enabled. The same with Bean, with Hardizers. Let's ride on board here with Hardizers. As the front three exchange fastest laps. Nick Mangano's had a moment there on the exit of 7. Hardizers is applying the DRS and the ERS. Khan sets the fastest lap. Meanwhile, Hardizers looks for a move up the inside of Bean. They're going to be wheel to wheel as they come through turn 3. And there's a little bit of contact there. And Hardizers through. Looks like Puffran in the rear mirror also gets through. So Bean drops down 2 places. Puffran looking for a move around the outside now of Hardizers as Ule is also past Bean. Hugendorn catching up to this lot. There's a switchback attempt for Puffran. Puffran and Hardizers side by side as they come round turn 5 into turn 6. Hardizers will have the inside for the next 2 corners. They're still side by side. All the time you have to leave the space. I can hear echoing in the background. Hugendorn, though, catches up to this party as Byland has got past Monk. Monk now will have DRS to defend off Swan and be able to maybe attack Byland back, but the front 5 are all racing it out now. Puffran with a DRS on Hardizers. Hardizers will only have ERS to defend this off. Puffran gets a little bit of moment on the curb, but does open his DRS. Same with Ule. Puffran looking for maybe a move up the inside now of Hardizers. Is ahead coming into turn 3. Will Hardizers look for a switchback? Ule kisses the diffuser there of Hardizers, and Bean settles into P4. Hugendorn P5, the front 5 all within. Meanwhile for P6, Swan has got past both Monk. Where is Monk? Monk's down in P17. Monk's had a moment and he's off. Monk has had a moment. Monk is in the middle of nowhere. Junkie Monkey has returned. Meanwhile, Swan and Byland are battling it out side by side. Byland will have the inside for this double left-hander. Swan tries to hug it around tight. Byland manages to hold him off. Meanwhile, Puffran is almost a second ahead now of Hardizers. Hardizers will have to defend off Ule. Ule, we want him to gain as many points as he can on that guy behind him, but so will Hardizers. Hugendorn also still within the mix here, as Byland now has Swan and Kizil as he looks to break the toe. Swan with the DRS. Byland's rear light is blinking. Let's ride on board here with Swan, as he's using the DRS, no ERS deployed. He's going to go side by side with Byland as we come into turn 3. And he's ahead on entrance. Byland, though, looking for a switchback. It's wheel to wheel. Has Swan got him covered? Byland now, the DRS is alongside. And Byland gets to move back into turn 4. Will Kizil maybe look for a move up the inside? Thinks better of it. As meanwhile, the battle for the front as Hardizers is starting to gain back on Puffran. We're about to start lap 6. 2 corners to go before we start lap 6. Byland leads this second train. Monk all the way down in P17 was in for the points. We didn't quite catch why he was in no man's land. But this train of 6 cars all battling for the final few points. Puffran is indeed in the lead, but he's being chased down by Hardizers with Ule, Bean and Hugendorn. As Swan has got back past Byland, but Byland's going to look for a mirror move from last time. Byland now will have the DRS possibly. He does. Swan covers the inside. He's going to force Byland to go around the outside this time. They're going to be side by side into turn 4. And Swan, I believe, has covered him off this time. Swan covers him off. Swan up into P6. Byland drops down to P7 and has got Kizil right behind him. Byland and Kizil have I don't know how to take what I've just read in chat. So Kizil and Byland have history, but here we have Ule right behind Hardizers. Hardizers still behind Puffran. They're starting to spread out a little bit. Huguenon hanging on to the rear of Bean. We got a yellow flag, and that is for... That is for just for Jehovah's. Jehovah's gone off in the Alpine. P16 for Jehovah's. But Puffran still leads this train of 5 cars. He's able to hold on, as meanwhile Swan is still having to defend off Byland. Byland will maybe look for the switchback once again. Will have the DRS to assist him for an attack down this straight into turn 4. Byland's rear light flash and Swan covers the inside once again there. It's wheel to wheel. And Byland looking to hang it around the outside. Swan though. Oh my god. There's side by side into turn. Oh, there's a bit of contact. Kizul may look for a move. And Kizul gets past Swan. Swan losing 2 positions. And picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. That will not be good for him. You could argue though that is Byland's fault. As Talbon's had a moment. So the guys at the back are not having fun. Meanwhile, with 5 laps to go, Puffran leads. Hard Eyes as P2, P3 for Ule, P4 for Bean, and P5 for Hugon. On this front 5 have pulled away masterfully from the rest of the field. And then we've got the second train, which is now going to be Kizul attacking Byland. Swan thinks about a move as well. Swan now side by side with Byland. And Byland gets a little bit loose, and Byland loses 2 places in the space of 1 corner. But Byland is attacking back. He's now thinking about a move to the inside. They're going to be 3 wide. Byland behaviour. Oh my days. And they're now going to be Swan on the inside of Byland. And Byland holds off the attack from Swan. Jerling up into P8. This is absolute chaos. Meanwhile, the battle for the front is rather clean. The battle for P6. Swan with that 3-second time penalty to add, though, is not going to do him any favours now. As Kizul also looks for a move there on Jerling back. Byland getting a little bit loose. I'm expecting a mass attack here. The front 5 keeping it relatively in a train. Swan looks for a move up the inside of Byland. Thinks better of it. Is maybe going to look for him in on the exit. Byland and Swan make contact once again. And Byland's going to try and squeeze him. And Jerling also looking for an offensive here. And it's wheel to wheel once again for Swan and Byland. These two not letting up. Neither wants to yield. Byland will have the inside once again for these next 2 corners. What is this? I do not know. He's entertaining, Connor. I'll give it that. As we see a lot of people moving defensively. The leaders with 3 laps to go. Is going to be Puffran still leading. Hard Eyes with Ule P3, Bean P4, Hugendorn P5. But we want to pay attention to the battle for P6, 7, 8. The final few points. There's a lot of cars in this fiasco. You got Byland, Swan, Jerling, Kizul, Vandenberg, Khan, Silver. As Swan looks for a move up the inside of turn 3. Byland, there's wheel to wheel once again from the pair. And Byland will not have DRS now. He'll be deploying all his battery. As Kizul has made the move on Jerling as well. Oh my god, I'm clenching. Because you know Byland's going to look for a big drive out of turn 4 through turn 5. And Byland still fends off Swan. Byland holding up this train of cars. All of this indeed for 3 points, but it is for position. Meanwhile, we start the penultimate lap with the leaders. Hard Eyes maybe looking for a move on Puffran. He's been saving that battery. Puffran's rear light is flashing. As Swan further back, we're going to go back to the battle for P6 because Swan is on the inside of Byland once again. That is not the view we want. Byland tucks into the slipstream, has the DRS. Swan's rear light is flashing. Byland's too. Byland might have him here. And Byland is back past through turn 4. But Swan not going to give up here. They're going to be battling it through. Byland might run a bit deep here. Kizel also on the rear of this has got front row seats for the action. But we're going to be starting the final lap and we're going to go to the battle for the lead. And Hardizers will be wanting to get past Puffran. But Hardizers picked up a 3-second time penalty. You couldn't write it. Hardizers. Puffran doesn't have to defend him off anymore. Puffran can just let him pass and get the DRS. Hardizers will win this on the track. Bean has lost a position. Bean is down to P5. Hugendorn's made a move. Meanwhile, Swan and Byland. Swan goes around the outside. Unable to do so. It's going to be Kizel and Swan now wheel to wheel. Byland might hold them off. Further back. Is anyone going to make a move? Vandenberg in P10 has stayed there steadily. P11 for Zhao Silva. P12 for Khan. 13th for Much. 14th for Dijkstra. This train. But as we come to the leaders, it is going to be Hardizer's win. But Puffran will be P1. Ule P2. Hugendorn P3. P4 for Bean and P5 for Hardizers. P6 is the next battle. And Swan with a 3-second time penalty is going to drop all the way down the order. Oh my god. Byland gets P6. P7 for Kizel. P8 for Jerling. 9th for Vandenberg. 10th for Silva. 11th for Khan. 12th for Much. 13th for Dijkstra. And 14th for Swan. I've still got to do 6 more laps of this. Oh. As there we have our sprint race finishings. I am out of breath after that. Absolute chaos, and we've got to do it all again. For the main race. Somehow, no one DNF'd that. Despite all of that chaos, 0 DNFs. I don't want anyone to join midway through because it might desync the lobby. But we're about to get racing. Puffran will start P1. Ule P2. The lights are off and away we go. Hugendorn Hardizers gets a monster start once again. Bean gets passed by Hardizers. Byland looks... Oh my god. Byland is attacking Bean. As Hugendorm runs wide, Byland might get the move done on Bean. There's contact in the rear though. There's a big incident involving P13 down. I've got Skittles in my mouth. I'm living my good life. I need the sugar for this. As Bean has got back past Byland meanwhile, and now Kizil may be looking for the offensive. We see a mix of tyre choices further back. We got mediums and even a soft runner, but the soft runner got caught up in that incident. As we can see, rain may be in half an hour, give or take. We might be getting spots of rain towards the end of this. And something's happened. It's involving Byland. Byland's out. Both Hasses have been disqualified. Something's happened. We've got a full safety car. Byland is out. I can't catch what's happened to Byland. But Nick Mangano out. Byland out. Haas having a disaster at the back of the grid. I don't think the teammates collided. But we're seeing people into the pits. Vandenberg in, having to get a new nose. Who else into the pits there? It looked like Aston Martin just pitting for hards. Jerling possibly a new nose. And the Alpines having to double stack. Jehovah's needing a new nose as well. So Alpine will be at the back of this train. Puffran leading. Got a really good start. This safety car actually not good for him. Ah. As we see Jerling into the pits again. And that looks like a wing change for Jerling. That was a very long pit stop. And it's Jehovah's also into the pits. That was a quick pit stop, just picking up the hard tyres. Monk currently in the points. Monk is currently in the points. So it looks like we'll have one more lap under the safety car. Oh, I am out of breath. And what just happened? The Aston Martin has just DNF'd. What? What? How's that happen then? He spun. Oh no. The safety car will be in this lap. So Puffran will get this back underway. We have 3 drivers out, an Aston Martin and 2 Hasses. Meanwhile, the Mercedes of Puffran will be getting this underway. Kizil Ule in P2, Hardizer's P3. As we wait to see when they get going. And Puffran has gone now. Everyone else keeping it very piled up. It's very tight as Jehovah's gets the move done on his teammate. Someone goes very wide there. That is João Silva going very deep. Jehovah's falls back down to P15. Meanwhile, P9, they're 3 wide. It's going to be Ryan Much, Khan, and Talbon 3 wide through turn 3. And Khan comes out ahead in that pack. Oh my god. As meanwhile, Vandenberg gets a move done for Monk. Monk dropping down the order. Monk now down into P12. But so far, everyone keeping it somewhat clean. Jerling drops down to P15. Jehozel up into P14. Khan and Jerling, the only ones on medium tyres currently. As Puffran leads Ule, Hardizers, Hugendorn, Bean and Kizil. Then it's Swan in P7. Needing to push a little bit. Otherwise he may get gapped here. But Khan did not get a good exit. Much gets the move on Khan before turn 1. So Khan drops back down to P9. Much up into P8. As we now come through turn 3 once again, Puffran still leading with Ule having Hardizers right behind him. I can imagine Puffran is pushing hard to try and drop Ule outside of that 1 second window. Hardizers seemingly got a bit of pace here. Huguenon struggling to keep up with that AlphaTauri. That's further back. I see Much and Khan once again. Khan back past Ryan Much. For P8, Khan will be wanting to catch up to the back of Swan. But it's going to be Puffran still leading, but DRS will be enabled this lap. I don't think he's pulled a big enough gap to Ule, as DRS has been enabled. It's going to be tight margins. Does Ule have the DRS? Yes, he does. He'll be using this to wheel in Puffran. And further back, Swan, without the DRS, may come under attack here from Khan, who looks to be within his DRS. No, Swan is within DRS of the cars ahead still. So everyone here is in a DRS train right now. Ule, though, definitely pushing hard here. Hardizers keeping him honest. Hugendorn P4. Bean, your current championship leader in P5. Khan P8, Swan P7, P6 for Kiziel. But so far, everyone now in a line. Byron not here to play bumper cars. Pufran still leads as we start lap 9. And Ule just holds on to the DRS. Pufran is setting fastest laps. As Swan may be outside the DRS in a moment. He's going to be pushing hard to keep up to the rear of the Kiziel. Still within the DRS. Khan, though, looks to be a little bit faster. He's gaining on him still. And someone has had a moment. It's Jehovah's at the moment. Khan looks for a move on the outside. May look for a switchback here on Swan. Swan goes wider on the exit. Khan maybe on a switchback on their medium tyres. Side by side they come. 4P7. Swan versus Khan. Khan up the inside of Swan through turn 4. Swan looks for a move back under. A little bit of bumping. But Khan seems to have the move done and Swan drops to P8. Started P14 though. As Monk in P12 is actually falling off the back of Fantenberg. He's definitely struggling. I wonder if Monk has some damage. Evan Potts, get ready with the poster. But back to the lead of this race as it is still Pufran leading with Ule keeping up. But Khan, meanwhile, sets the fastest lap, is pushing hard. Rear light flashing though. Might not have DRS here. And I believe Khan is outside that 1 second window. Meanwhile, Kiziel is all over the rear here of Bean. Maybe thinking about a move. Oh my god, that's a lot of battery. Kiziel just holding behind steadily. Monk! Monk has spun! Monk has spun! Drunky Monkey has returned. Monk now P15. He's definitely struggling with something. That looked like a reset there from Jerling. As Pufran, though, is starting to extend that lead now on the Ferrari. Hardizer's right behind. We're going to ride on board here with Hardizer's as we round the final corner. Monk picks up a 3-second time penalty to add insult to injury. And I think Ule may be outside as Pufran sets the fastest lap once again. Pufran, the Indian Flash, living up to his nickname. And Jehovah's retired in the pits. Jehovah's not happy with his Austrian race. Couldn't replicate his Hungary performance. Ule back within the DRS though of Pufran. Hardizers though, just holding on steady in P3. Meanwhile, it looks like Kiziel has made the move there on Bean. Kiziel up into P5. Bean is dropping down the order. Meanwhile, Khan not able to gain any sort of ground. Talbot has made the move on Much. Thank you very much there for the follow. I can't pronounce that name. But back to the lead as it is going to be Pufran leading Ule with the DRS still holding on steadily. As Kiziel, meanwhile, MP5 now takes the fastest lap. The guys pulling out lap times every lap now. And is Kiziel maybe thinking about a move on Hugendorf? Bean is struggling with pace here. Is struggling to keep up with Kiziel now. As we see Swan all over the rear there of Khan. As they come down the second DRS straight now. Will Swan make a move? He's side by side. He's past Khan. Khan carrying a bit more speed. Maybe thinking about a move around the outside here. Wheel to wheel. And Swan makes that move stick. Swan back up into P7. Khan's mediums maybe starting to fade. It is lap 12 of 36. Next up will be Talbot thinking about a move, as meanwhile Kiziel is closing in on Hugendorf. Does Bean have damage? Because Bean seemingly struggling a little bit with pace. Maybe he's got floor damage when Byron sent it up the inside of him. But Kizil is all over the rear here of Hugendorn. Bean is outside of that second window now. So Bean really struggling there with pace. Meanwhile, Swan having to maybe defend off Khan. Khan very close to his diffuser there. Round turn 3. We'll have the DRS here, maybe to attack. Maybe it's more to defend now from Talbon behind. As meanwhile, Ule has closed up to Pufran. And that gap has definitely come down. Maybe Pufran's had a moment. Maybe Ule is starting pushing a little bit harder now. Because that gap has gone from 9/10 to 5. Let's have a quick weather report. As it looks like rain isn't on the horizon anytime soon. It might just get a little bit colder track-wise. But Ule is now pushing very hard. And it's caught up to the back here of Pufran. Monk picks up another 3-second time penalty onto 6 seconds worth of penalties. Ule late on the brakes, thinks about a move, has to take it very tight. Might now come under pressure now from Hardizers. The AlphaTauri gets a much better drive out. Ule had to take it very tight to make sure not to make any contact there with the Mercedes. And Hardizers will have the inside for turn 4, they're wheel to wheel. And Hardizers gets the move done on Pufran. Hardizers up into P2. Ule loses a position. And now Hugendorn is right behind the rear of Ule. Ule's poor exit out of turn 3 is definitely costing him. Bean is back within touching distance. Meanwhile, Khan has lost a position to Talbom. And meanwhile, this has enabled Pufran to pull over a second gap now to the cars behind. But this Ferrari sandwich that Hugendorn finds himself in. Kizil now pulls out to the side. Isn't close enough though. Doesn't have enough speed to make the move. Maybe he'll think about a move here. Oh, gets a big moment and Kizil's gone round. I wonder if there's any contact from Bean. It didn't look like it, but Kizil goes round. The commentator's curse once again. As Ule is really having to defend off Hugendorn. Hugendorn looking very racy. As Hardizers has wheeled in Pufran once again. Hugendorn looks for a move up the inside of Ule. It's going to be close stuff. Going to be wheel to wheel as they come round turn 5. Into turn 6. Ule will have the inside. Hugendorn on the outside. Leaving just a car width of space there for Hugendorn. They're still side by side. Oh my god. They're still side by side as we come into the double right-hander now. And Hugendorn and Ule make a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. And Bean's up the inside of both of them. Through goes Bean. Ule gets a bit of a snap there. Bean is up into P3. Ule loses 2 positions. Oh. As Hardizers has gained on Pufran. Pufran may have taken the best out of his tyres. Bean will not have the DRS to defend. I have taken a sip, don't you dare worry. Talbon, meanwhile, has got past Swan. So Talbon up to P6. Kizil down to P13. As we look at Bean, has a fast approach in Hugendorn. Hugendorn didn't dare make a send though. And Ule looks a little bit squirrely. This pack of 3 have been dropped off by the leading 2 now, as it's going to be Pufran versus Hardizers for the lead of this race. And Talbon maybe pulling on along this train. They are starting to catch up to this pair. Thank you very much for the follow there. Red, yeah, I'm going with that. As Khan's into the pits. So Khan pitting early on the mediums, lap 16. Almost at half distance actually. But it's going to be Pufran leading Hardizers. Bean with a charging Hugendorn behind. Ule. Does Ule have damage? Oh, McWilliams is not going to be happy about that one. But Hugendorn, meanwhile, has a good drive here. Hugendorn up the inside of Bean. In turn 4, Bean loses the position. Kazule starting to drop off the back of this pair. As Talbot and Swan are battling it out. And there's Ule's gone round! Ule has gone round! Ule's on the infield. Ferraris are really struggling here. He's still ahead of Monk though. Well, thank you very much for the follow there, PG Darkilos. As we get back to the battle for P3, notably, because Bean is back on the rear of Hugendorn. Hugendorn's rear light flashing. Is Bean going to look for a move up the cut inside of turn 3? Thinks better of it. The Ferraris have had a nightmare. Ule into the pits, Jerling into the pits. It has been a W race indeed. As meanwhile Talbot still leads Swan now for P5 and P6. Khan has come out just behind Monk. Monk is in the muck though. He has not had a season to remember. As the gap between Hardizers and Puffran levels out. Puffran into the pit. Hardizers will be your race leader. As now Hugendorn and Bean battling it out once again. So Puffran looking for an undercut on their mediums. Hardizers feel like he might be able to overcut possibly. Swan still chasing down Talbot. Kizil with the fastest lap currently is in P8. And Monk now into the pits, has 6 seconds worth of penalties though. And let's ride on board here with Swan. It's close behind Talbot still. Indeed, and Talbot gets a poor exit. Swan gets a much better exit through turn 4. Surprised he didn't think maybe about making a move up the inside there. But Talbot definitely struggled for that corner. And Hardizers doesn't pit once again. So Hugendorn pits, Bean stays out. We're seeing everyone changing their strategy here for what they think may be the best option. So it will now be Hardizers leading with Soybean P2. P3 now for Talbot, 4th for Swan, 5th for Much and 6th for Fantenberg. Let's have a quick look at the weather report. And currently rain is about half an hour out still. I don't think we're going to hit rain. If we do, it will be in the final few laps. Ule, meanwhile, on fresh medium, sets the fastest lap of the race down in P12. As it's currently the battle for P3, that is the interesting one. We've got 4 cars. Talbot, Swan, Much and Fantenberg all within touching distance of one another. All it takes is 1 3-second penalty to really royally ruin your race. A bit of a little alliteration for you all there. As Hardizers now comes into the pits. Bean stays outside. Bean will be your race leader. Most important though, where will he come out compared to Puffran? Puffran currently coming around the final few corners. Will Hardizers get the overcut on Puffran? Puffran doesn't appear to have come out in any traffic. The AlphaToys are having a wonderful race, but Puffran is going to have a big gap over Hardizers here by the looks of it. And he's in fact undercut him. It's going to be Hugendorn who's made inroads onto Hardizers. Not enough to make an overtake. But Hardizers obviously hoping for the fresher mediums towards the end. As now the battle for P2 on track. As Puffran looks to be making a move. We've got yellow flags and it's for Ryan Much. Much has gone round and he's lost his front wing and we've got a safety car. Oh no. And then Silver's hit the rear of Puffran, and Puffran loses 2 places. Oh no. So Bean gets the perfect safety car, gets a free pit stop here. So does Talbot and Swan. Zhao Silva will be into the pits. Will Bean come out ahead of Hardizers? He'll have the fresher tyre. And Bean will now be your race leader. Hardizers P2. P3 for Hugendorn. 4th for Puffran after getting rear-ended. Talbot P5 and Swan P6. Big gainers there. Kizyul being saved by the safety car. And Ule will be in P9. Monk in P14 is somewhat back in this race. So Bean with the freshest mediums. I would imagine so. Bean with the freshest mediums is now leading the race. It is now P2 for Hardizers, P3 for Hugendorn, all because Ryan Much lost the car and took his wing off. Oh boy. As Khan is into the pits. Much is on softs. What is this weather saying? Are we expecting rain now? Rain is half an hour away. Give or take. It is going to be very close if they can finish before the rain. What is going on here? De Silva and Jerling traded places, but the safety car will be in this lap. So Bean will be leading us off. Khan has gone for the soft tyre. He's got 13 laps to do still. Much also on the softs there. Yeah, but this is a 50% race, so they would last... they should last maybe 9-10 laps. As Bean's gone, but he doesn't get the jump on Hardizers. Hardizers is right on his rear. Hungaron also there. I wonder if Puffran has rear wing damage from that incident with the Alpine. But still harder. Bean with the freshest mediums will be looking to pull away. Talbot P5 all over the rear of Puffran as well. Puffran... possible damage. He seems to not have the pace he had in that first stint. Meanwhile, Jerling is all the way down in P13. As Khan is climbing up the order. Khan already P11. Jerling and Silva side by side. And Silva holds him off. Meanwhile as well, Ule may come under pressure here from Much. As Monk on mediums, maybe looking for a move on Jerling on the hards. But everyone nice and clean and tidy for this first lap. Just keep an eye on these two soft runners behind Ule. They'll be desperately trying to get past this Ferrari. And it's almost the Alfa Romeo nose going right into the rear diffuser of that Ferrari. But the soft tyres getting a better drive. Ule will be having to defend off Ryan Much here. Much maybe looking for a move on the outside. Going to open up this corner. Ule drives defensive. Much with the softs on the outside. Gets much more grip there. But he's unable to make the move. Ule defends him off. Meanwhile, the front two are dropping off Hugendorn. Hugendorn struggling a little bit for pace. Slightly older tyres. Let's look at the tyre age here. As Puffran on the oldest mediums of 6 laps, Hugendorn 5 laps, Hardizers 4, and Bean 3 laps. As Bean now sets the fastest lap of the race. And Much still stuck behind Ule. The DRS now enabled though. As we're going to ride on board here with Much. Will be maybe looking to get him into turn 4, possibly also further ahead. You see Kizil thinking about a move on Swan. No overtaking though done by anyone here so far. In fact, Khan is fast approaching the back of Much here instead. As they both seem to be dropping off the Alpine of Silver. But back to the battle for the lead, as it's going to be Bean leading Hardizers. This is monumental for Bean's championship title. There's only 2 races after this race. And Jerling picks up a 3-second time penalty. Jerling in the middle of nowhere. But there's only 2 races, Brazil and then Singapore, for these guys to do. As Kizil looks to make a move on Swan. Kizil has made the move stick, but Swan gets the answer back here. But Kizil deploys hard on his battery, and Kizil is back past Swan. And that'll be Kizil up into P6. Swan drops to P7. McLaren running 7-8 currently. P9 for Ule and 10 for Much. Them soft runners though have gambled, and I'm not sure the gamble is going to pay off. Hugendorn with Puffran all over his rear still. Still though holding in that DRS range of the car ahead. Puffran, who would have been leading if not for the safety car, and then the interesting incident that happened between him and the Alpine. Oh, and Puffran gets a big snap there. I'm wondering if Puffran does have rear wing damage the way he came out of that corner. Talbot gets past and Puffran loses a position. So meanwhile, it's going to be Hugendorn, who looks like he is flying right now. Pushing hard, might be starting to gain a little bit on Hardizers. As meanwhile, it is going to be Monk and Silver battling side by side for P12. Monk has got past, but also has 6 seconds of time penalties. No damage. Okay, interesting. Because he took a fair whack. Whew. But now we've got 7-8 laps left to go. Bean still leads. The rain is nowhere near. So it's looking like we're going to be dry until the end. Let's do a quick tyre check for everyone. Bean's tyres are about 20%. Oh, and Vandenberg picks up a 3-second time penalty. That is not what you want. As Hardizer's tyres are a little bit more wet than Bean's, as Hugendorn's fronts Rears are the same. He's a lap older than Hardeyes. Hugendorn definitely looking after his tyres better. Talbot's tyres, as Puffran's are really starting to hit the fading point. Then it will be Kizel on fresher and his tyres looking less worn than Swan's. Swan wearing his tyres a lot harder, and Vandenberg, who just picked up a 3-second time penalty, is wearing his tyres even harder. They are 1 lap older though. As Ule, also on 11 lap old mediums, are starting to hit the cliff. But these soft tyres are much. And that's Puffran who's gone round. Puffran round, and these Mercedes are having a disaster class. As Khan's tyres are not looking too good. Neither are Monk's. And Silver's also not in a good position, but Monk is only 1 position away from points. As Monk picks up 9 seconds of penalties. How has he picked up 9 seconds of penalties around Austria? This front four, though, are dropping off the Ferraris and the McLarens that are battling it out. As Will Hardeyes think about a move. Silver's had a moment through turn 3. But the battle is going to be, can Bean hold off Hardeyes? Bean with the fresher tyre. Hugendorn as now Monk's had a moment. Junkie Monkey has also had a moment. So there go Monk's any chance of points whatsoever. Let's have a look at Khan's tyres again. Will he be in puncture territory? I think he should be fine. As meanwhile Bean with Hardeyes still right behind him. Hardeyes is saving batch. He might be thinking about an attack on the final lap. So right now the top 10 of basically safe. But Hardeyes is here. Maybe thinking about a move. Maybe might play team player and try and get Talbot through on Hugendorn. He has choices to make. Do you go for the win? Do you get the double podium? As Kizel and Swan are starting to drop off Vandenberg, who is also starting to drop Ule off a little bit. Ule's tyres will be feeling the worst of it now, along with the soft runners behind him. They're all about to hit the cliff, I can imagine. I have no idea who this is, but be gone. Meanwhile, back to the battle for the front. We've got 5 laps to go. And it is going to be Bean leading Hardeyes with Hugendorn and Talbot holding on. Monk has had another moment. Monk has spun. Potts! Potts! Get that poster ready. Someone get Potts on the phone. We need that poster at the ready. As meanwhile, we've got maybe 4 laps left to go. Bean still leading Hardeyes. Swan is all over the rear here of Kizel. He's had a lot more spins than he's had points. As Swan, who started P14 all the way up into P6 currently. But now, 4 laps to go. Bean still leads this train of 4 cars. Swan and Kizel, both lights flashing. Swan maybe thinking about a move here. Around the outside of turn 3 is a bold move. Kizel slots in behind. Maybe think about an attack back with the DRS. Monk has spun again. Hey, I did it once. He's consistent with it. What is Monk doing? Is Monk trying to bring out a safety car? Because if he is, like, what is he doing? Swan, though, up into P5. Monk. P40 must have rear wing damage, surely. So it's going to be Bean leading once again. They've dropped Hugendorn off a little bit, just about holding on to DRS. Swan is ahead of Kiziel with 3 laps to go. Vandenberg is having to defend off Ule, and the 2 soft runners' gamble has definitely not paid off. Then why is he just doing this then? Unless it's to give his teammate DRS on the final lap. But here we have the battle for the lead. It is going to be Bean still leading this gaggle of 4 cars. Kiziel and Swan battling it for 5th. Ule and Vandenberg battling for 7th. But Ule doesn't need to pass Vandenberg. Vandenberg, with that 3-second time penalty, is currently battling the soft runners behind. He's got to pull a bigger enough gap. But Bean now is going to come across the line. 2 laps to go for Soybean. Can Bean further extend his championship lead over his rivals behind? Ule, who was P2, and Jerling, who was P3, definitely not scoring as many points as him this afternoon. But Hardizers is still within a chance here. As meanwhile, Ule has made the move on Vandenberg. Ule gets it done on the track. Not messing around there from Ule. Jerling, meanwhile, takes the fastest lap away from anyone on them soft tyres. So no fastest lap point today for anyone. But Swan will be having to fend off Kiziel. The pair of them very, very close. Monk definitely slowing down. Monk is definitely trying to give his teammate DRS. I don't know how I feel about this. As much has gone round, much has spun, and much has lost it. Much is outside of the top 10. And Hardizers, Bean will get more DRS here. Is it legal in real life? I don't know. Is that? Can someone find out if that's legal in real life? Meanwhile, the actual battle that is going to be Swan versus Kiziel. Kiziel up the inside of Swan. Because that will be a penalty for Bean. Monk slowed down to give Bean DRS so he could fend off. But yeah, but you'd have to penalise both. Both gained from it. But it will be Bean who wins on track. Hardizers P2, P3 for Hugendorn, 4th for Taubom. 5th will go to Swan, who fends off Kiziel. Vandenberg gets Ule on the track, but with that 3-second time penalty, Vandenberg drops to P8, P9 for Khan. And P10 will go to Puffran, who was leading at the start of this. Who are we waiting for? Oh, we're waiting for Ryan Much, who's picked up a puncture on them softs. I didn't die. I was waiting. I thought it was going to end, but Much has picked up a puncher. But Bean will be your race leader. Hard Eyes is P2 and P3 for Hugendorn. But here are your final timings. Bean leads by under a second to Hard Eyes, as Hugendorn only 1.5 behind that. Monk, the final car to finish the race, was a lap down. Oh. And we're going to get ready for the interviews. As we wait for the drivers to make their way here. Is anyone going to join? I'm going to give it a couple of more minutes and then just, I guess no interviews otherwise. It's fine by me. Hello.
There is people coming.
Are
You
they?
have to check.
Pardon?
You have to give them a minute. They got to finish their stuff. Speak to their engineers and.
Yeah, but I have
whatnot.
stuff that I want to go do.
Well, tough. So you get for commentating.
Copium.
Exactly.
What's my mic doing? Alright, let's get our race winner up. Bean,
Hello.
you win again. It was saved by the safety car, you could say.
Yeah, full saved by the safety car.
Because the overcut definitely wasn't looking like it was working. Hard Eyes has lost a lot of pace and time to Puffran and was almost gobbled up by Hugendorn.
Yeah, I knew I couldn't overtake them on track anyway because their traction was just too good. So I knew I had to stay out and wait for a safety car, and it worked. So yeah, got pretty lucky on that. And then the medians were just so much better, and yeah, I had a lot more traction on them, so managed to keep the AlphaTauri behind. So, yeah.
Oh, you can hear my fan in the background. It's hot in my room. Sorry.
And yeah, the quali lap for the middle sector was so good. So yeah, that was nice. But then, I mean, I knew I had to. That was my only chance of staying ahead of those guys. So, and then a bit of a thing happened at turn 3, and I lost 3 places, and I couldn't get past them again. So it is what it is.
But you further extend your Drivers' Championship lead. Monk, still 0 points. Bean is literally carrying Williams in the Constructors.
Yes, it would seem so.
Maybe practice.
No. More reason why I should be tier 3.
No, practice.
No.
Stop playing Football Manager.
No. Why would I practice on this shit game, mate?
I don't know anymore. New game soon. But Bean, you've 2 races left, and I think your points lead goes to over 25, possibly. It's going to be close.
Nice. I mean, it would have been closer if the Ferraris didn't spin. So, but yeah. I mean, I just said yeah again, and Van Basten's not very happy with me for saying that, so I should stop doing that. But just kept it on the track. I got 2 warnings like a few laps before the end, so I was kind of scared about that as well. But I managed to keep on the road.
Brazil next week. How do you feel for Brazil?
I know Monk's a bit of a Brazil merchant, but there are a few corners I just don't like around that track.
I don't get reeling damage lap 1, yeah, possibly.
Yeah, but we'll just have to tough that one out. But thankfully, I've got a bit of a gap now, so I can afford to maybe not have to risk fully, basically.
Well, is there anything else you guys would like to add before we go down to P2?
No, not really.
Oh, thank you very
Good
much.
race overall.
And get ready for the next Monk poster. Alright, P2, Hard Eyes, might as well get his vice team principal who got the P4 today as well.
Oh,
Guys, talk us through your race. Looked like you was eyeing up a move on the final lap.
Yeah, it was a hard race. The safety car got me off a bit, to be honest. I think because of the safety car, I got behind Bean, and I knew he was probably one of the quickest around this track, so it would be hard to overtake him. At the end, it was just not enough to overtake him. But P2 is a very good result, and also a very good result by my teammate, of course. Driving from last to P4 is absolutely insane.
It's
first sec.
it's big for both of you. It's almost double podium. Very good points for the constructors as well. Do you guys want to talk us through your race?
Well, I started last again for a second time in a row now, and I had quite a chaotic sprint race, to be honest. I didn't really have the pace or confidence and made some mistakes, but in the race I just drive different. I just took it clean, just hoping for the best, and the safety car really helped me because I was P2 at the moment, and the safety car popped out from nowhere. I was really happy with that. It put me P6, I think, and I didn't really do any overtakes. It's more just me not spinning and the guys ahead of me making mistakes. So I had some nice battles with people. It's really nice. We're happy with both our results. Really good for constructors as we're closing in on Ferrari now, beating both of them.
Indeed,
So,
and
yeah.
yes, and Brazil's next week. How do you guys feel for Brazil?
For me, it's quite a good track. Not the best, but it's okay. Hard on track limits again, so that's something to avoid, of course. But yeah, looking forward, of course, to race again and try and get another podium and maybe a double podium for the team would be very nice.
And anything else you
Yeah.
guys would like to add before we go down to P3?
Not for me.
Well, neither here.
Well, congratulations, 2-4. I'm not
Thank
sure
you.
what the sprint results were in the end. It's been so long, can't remember.
Lost for me.
Ah, okay. Well, anyway, congratulations, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hugendorn joins us once again on the podium. Must be very happy with that one.
Yeah, good evening, Luke.
Good evening.
I'm pretty well. Yeah, just kept my head cool, tried to save some ERS. When I was P3, I was just trying to defend that position. I thought the guys ahead were faster, and I just wanted them to drag me along. It worked out pretty well, so yeah.
And you kept up with them the whole time. You was always in with a shout if anything happened. Unlucky maybe
Yeah.
not to get a second place or even a first with
You never know, yeah. So, yeah.
with the performances around you. Brazil next week as well. You've lit up the Brazilian streets before. How do you feel for it going into next week?
I think I'm pretty confident at Brazil. I really like the track for overtaking, and battles are pretty good there. So looking forward, I think my pace is also quite okay there. So yeah, should be nice.
And anything you want to add before we see if anyone else wants to do an interview?
No, that's it.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much, and congratulations on the podium, P3. Solid points as the only Red Bull once again.
Yeah, unfortunately. Where's Rosu, man? Where's Rosu?
I don't know where Rosu is.
I was completely alone. Wolf also wasn't here.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what these guys are doing, but this isn't good.
Hugendorn left you on your own. Anyway,
Yeah.
I mean Rolf. All right, congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
Yes. Have a good one.
And yourself. All right, his hands up. So.
Yeah.
Swarm P5. We saw you battling. Well, Connor can get himself up.
Yeah, you can.
All right.
We saw you battling it out with Kizul towards the end. It was tight stuff, and you and Biden definitely were the highlight of the sprint race.
God, tell us about him, mate. You'll have fun. Have fun with the tier 2 tickets, Will Nilsson, because I can assure you there will definitely be a few. I think I must have took about 15 clips in the sprint race of near-death experiences. But, you know, I'm not up on the stage to complain and cry. I got my best result of the season so far. And, I mean, I can't be too upset. But I should hopefully get some points from the sprint race as well, because I'm hoping to get that penalty removed that I got because it was from me being pushed off. But, yeah, FIA will decide. So, nah, I'm a bit buzzing, Luke, I tell you. I'm glad I finally got unwashed.
The most important thing is you didn't get a 3-second time penalty for once.
Yeah, no, I know. I actually didn't get a single warning for like a good 26 laps or something, and then I got 2 stupid warnings on like lap 26 and lap 31. But I kept it without a penalty, so pleasant surprise, I know.
Is it also your first race without a penalty today?
Shut up. What was that, Luke?
It's been tiring doing this race.
Yeah,
I'm tired listening to you.
Shut up, Connor. You didn't have to listen.
I did actually.
Oh, man. Anyway, Brazil's next week. How do you feel for Brazil?
Back to back marking. I just think it's such a I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the track. I think it's a great track, but I'm pretty sure Connor said this in the tier 1 interviews. I'm just not good round there, so I don't expect much from it. But hopefully, if I practice a little bit, if I can be asked to play this horrendous game, maybe I can pick up a little bit of pace. Maybe find somewhat of a result, but I'm not hopeful. But we'll see.
And Vandenberg coming in P8 in the end, I think. Yeah, P8 for Vandenberg.
what good.
Yeah, I mean, he did a very good job considering he had that 3-second penalty. We was going to put him down to like P13 when he picked it up, but he pulled away. I think Much and a few people on the softs really suffered on his final few laps with the tyre wear, which kind of helped him get away. And yeah, finished P8, so he got good points there as well. And yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good weekend, but I feel like it was we were very lucky with the safety car. I mean, Mons also had he switched to the hard, so he already made a pit stop when that safety car came out. So we were going to run him a bit longer and see if there's going to be a safety car or maybe even rain. But I think the rain was pretty unlikely, no matter
rain
what.
Was still half an hour out.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on it because it's approximate weather in the end. But yeah, it was a good race for both of them, and just one of those races. I think Swans was pretty similar to what mine was the other day. He was just letting people through and pulling along with the penalties, and yeah, it was a very well thought out race, I think.
And anything else you guys would like to add before I guess we're going to end it here?
I had a saucy battle towards the end with Kizil.
We caught it. We caught it.
It was really good. I mean, it was hard. I'm not sure if there was contact. If there was, it was pretty minor. But yeah, it was such a hard battle.
I think there was the only bit of contact I remember was Kizil just locking up, and he's owned up to that into turn 3. But other than that, it was really good defending from Swan and really good clean attacking from Kizil. So
and same with Talbom as well. Spent quite a lot.
It was butt clenching to watch for me.
Yeah, I spent quite a lot of my race finding Talbom, but he kept it really clean when he was overtaken. And yeah, it was some good racing with a good few drivers. It was really fun. I enjoyed this race.
Well, congratulations on the P5, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Thanks, Luke. Bye bye.
Bye.
Well, on that note, that is the end of the Tier 2 race today. Get ready for Wednesday when the Tier 3 drivers take on Austria. Will Kingma regain his crown and get his first win of the season on the track he won first last season and start maybe his title defence? Or will someone else come and upset the party? Tune in Wednesday 7 PM. But anyway, that's been me, Martin, and good night.